Hey guys, it's Eric here from E&M Guns. I'm going to explain, well, I'm going to let Bill Maher explain wokeism to you. Stick around.
Or an 84-year-old man who lived in front of a television set who was so afraid of somebody ringing his doorbell, he decided to hunt him down and try to take his life. Thank God he didn't. I just go back to it. Guns are for pussies.
Tonight, the Clay County prosecutor announces charges against an 85-year-old man accused of shooting a teenager in a case of a mistaken address.
That young man you just saw is the wokeism coming out of your liberal states like California, Oregon, and Washington. If you guys haven't been watching, we're only 2 months in, and there's been a slew of gun control bills coming through Washington, Colorado, California. Haven't heard too much out of Oregon yet, but a lot of your blue states are just doubling down on their gun control. They figure they'll get it in place and let the courts settle it, I guess. I don't know. But every town has a spot on their website that if you're interested in running for the Everytown platform, they will help you. They'll teach you to fundraise. They'll teach you all the essentials of running a campaign so they can get their people in your local offices like mayor and city council. These guys right here that are coming up in wokeism ideology are your future leaders. And it's concerning for us as 2A advocates, as gun-loving people, law-abiding citizens, is this ideology is a religion to these folks. They believe that guns are so evil and so bad that they'll stop at nothing. I mean, that ideology has these folks believing there's several different genders, and some of these blue states have amended their death certificates to identify as non-binary or transgender. That's the kind of mentality we're fighting against, and it's an ideology that is just, guys, it's scary. And then part of the problem with that ideology, where it's stemming from, this generation and the generation that raised them, is they were raised in a culture where sports had no winners. It was a participation trophy. Are you kidding me, guys? Do you watch the Super Bowl and just go, oh, they both won? The problem with not learning how to lose is you don't learn how to lose graciously. You don't understand that losing's part of growing up, and it makes you try harder. You don't throw a tantrum fit, you just try harder. And that's what these guys aren't understanding. When they lose, look back at 2016 when Donald Trump won office. The riots that happened because their candidate, Pantsuit Betty there, Hillary Clinton, didn't win. I had family members that said, if you voted for Trump, you don't need to come over for Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. Luckily, I wasn't going anyways because I lived in Idaho, but... Not my president! Not my president! Not my president! Not my president! Not my president!
This morning, breaking overnight, people filling the streets in America's cities, protesting President-elect Donald Trump.
Crowds set fires, blocked freeways, and gathered at Trump's buildings all across the country.
Officers in Portland, Oregon confronted thousands of protesters in what police called a riot. Some demonstrators smashed store windows. Protesters faced off with police in other cities too, including Oakland, Denver, and Minneapolis.
This wokeism ideology, Bill Maher does a good job. And yes, I know Bill Maher is very liberal, but apparently this woke liberal ideology is too liberal for him, and he's making fun of him. And he's 100% right, guys.
Well, if you're part of today's woke revolution, you need to study the part of revolutions where they spin out of control because the revolutionaries get so drunk on their own purifying elixir, they imagine they can reinvent the very nature of human beings. that you can bend human nature by holding your breath. But that's the difference between reality and your mommy. Chat GPT. Are there any similarities between today's woke revolution and Chairman Mao's cultural revolution of the 1960s? And it wrote back, dictionary thought he could do a page one rewrite of humans. Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah, who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being. A lot of pointing and shaming went on. Oh, and about 1 million dead. And the only way to survive was to plead insanity for the crime of being insufficiently radical, then apologize and thank the state for the chance to see what a piece of shit you are, and of course submit to re-education, or as we call it here in America. There's a law professor at the University of Illinois, Chicago, named Jason Kilborn, whose crime was that on one of his exams, he used a hypothetical case where a black female worker sued her employer for race and gender discrimination, alleging that managers had called her 2 slur words, the type of real-world case these students might one day confront. And knowing the extreme sensitivity of today's students, he didn't write the 2 taboo words on the test, just the first letter of each. He was teaching his students how to fight racism in the place where it matters most, the criminal justice system. But because he merely alluded to those words, again, in the service of a good cause, he was banned from campus, placed on indefinite leave, and made to wear the dunce cap. No, not really the dunce cap part, but our American version of that. 8 weeks of sensitivity training, weekly 90-minute sessions with a diversity trainer, and having to write 5 self-reflection papers. A grown-ass man, a liberal law professor. If you can't see the similarities between that and this, the person who needs re-education is you.
I think that plane got landed for us. Bill Maher did a good job. Maoism and wokeism, that ideology is very, very similar, guys. We need to be concerned about it. We need to stop that wokeism mentality from getting into our state and local governments. Guys, I hope you have a blessed week. Have a great weekend. Love you. Peace out.